What up, player profiler faithful? It's your boy Matty Kiwoom. Welcome to the latest episode of the Game Plan. This episode is to say it's a special episode would be maybe the understatement of all time. Maybe there's a lot of understatements, but this one is a very special episode. I'm gonna have an announcement for you guys, all the planners out there. Got a big announcement at the top of the show, but this is not just an announcement show. This is a show of information. We're talking about some redraft strategies. The redraft season is coming quickly. Players are now all at camp. We're seeing highlights of basketball shorts and t-shirt days. Hard Knocks off season's about to wrap up. Hard Knocks training camp is going to kick off. And as you know, that all means football's right around the corner. And the redraft season is here. So I am going to dive into a few of my main strategies, my big tips to help you dominate your redraft league. So, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, strap your seatbelts in. This is going to be a big episode, but also pull out those pens and those pads and let's start game planning to dominate our redraft leagues. Okay, so let's start with the elephant in the room. Let's start with the announcement. You may have noticed that the game plan has not come out over the last couple of weeks, and there's a pretty big reason for that. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'll just come out and say it. As of August 1st, I will no longer be doing content at PlayerProfiler. I will be moving on, and it's not a bad thing. This is not a breakup where I'm leaving because I'm unhappy with the direction of PlayerProfiler. Nope, quite the opposite. I love PlayerProfiler. There was really no intentions of me moving on. It wasn't anything I really forecasted. But as you know, as a fantasy manager, when opportunities arise, you have to seize them to win. If you want to win, you got to seize opportunities. And an opportunity came up that I felt was very, 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 it was awesome. I don't know how else to say. It was an awesome opportunity. And I'm very, very excited. So as of August 1st, I will no longer be doing content here for Player Profile, but you'll still see me collabing with some of the guys. Like I said, no animosity on my part. I'm very, very grateful for Matt Kelly, for Theo, for Seth, for Jason, for Cody. I know he's not longer a Player Profile, but he was still here when I started. Josh Larkey. It all started actually with a tweet from Josh Larkey telling me to kind of keep pushing, that people will eventually start seeing the information that I wanted to put out for fantasy. So big shout out to Josh. If it wasn't for him, I would have come to Player Profiler and started the game plan and built this thing and really had a chance to thrive in a passion of mine. Fantasy football is a passion of mine. I love it. So yeah, I just wanted to say formally thank you, Jason, for the Trade Gods being my co-host for damn near 3 years. That was a blast. Shout out to OG Theo Greminger for doing the future cast with me and kind of being there to hop on shows and be a great guest and be, he's one of the best fantasy minds around, and to learn from him was great. Seth Dewald, he's my guy. So big shout out to you. And of course, the podfather, Matt Kelly, giving me the opportunity to start the game plan here, to grow the game plan at Player Profiler, giving me opportunities to do the future cast and learn about prospect evaluation and do the NFL draft coverage and all these opportunities that Matt gave me, he extended to me. So I just need to say from my bottom of my heart, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Theo. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Seth. Thank you, John Adams. Thank you, Matt Babbage. Thank you, everybody. There's so many people here behind the scenes and Brittany for the thumbnail. I mean, there are so many people I could thank, and I will probably have word vomit. And just as a name pops up, I say thank you because I mean it from the bottom of my heart. This has been a magical, and I know that's so corny to say magical, but truly it is. I mean, I was a fan of Matt and of Player Profiler long before I ever did content anywhere. Taking in what became the Mind a Mansion show before it was just the Roto Underworld podcast. I've been a big fan of what they were doing here. So having the opportunity to produce content for Roto Underworld Player Profiler has been literally a dream come true. So Matt, big shout out to you. What you've built here is amazing, and you have a fantastic team. And I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity, giving me a chance, letting me run with it, kind of just giving me the reins to develop a show on my own. The game plan's kind of been this. It was a redraft show, molded into a bit of a dynasty, and then the season came back. It was back to redraft. But yeah, it's been fantastic. And like I said, I can't thank everybody enough. All the planners that tune in every single week. Thank you, John, for producing the show. Like I said, this has been a dream come true. It's been absolutely fantastic. But, as every great chapter opens up, eventually the chapter can close. So the chapter in my content career at Player Profiler will be closed as of August 1st. And I just wanted to take this time again to say thank you to Matt, thank you, Theo, thank you to all the guys at Player Pro, Billy. And again, I'm just going to keep having all these word vomit, all these people I've had a chance to work with, collab with, Memphis and Jerry on the round, on the War Zone. And like I said, Seth and Matt on the round table. Being able to just be around these guys, bounce ideas off these guys. And, not everyone's still here. Jack Kavanaugh, shout out to you, Jack. You were awesome. Getting to meet you in Kansas City was awesome. Nick Coder is someone I never would have met if it wasn't for Player Profiler. Nick, other Nick. I mean, there's just so many people as I go on meeting. Frank in Detroit was amazing. Anand is awesome. It's just Tyler Football is one of the rising stars now in the content game. So to be able to work with him has been awesome. And again, I don't mean to leave anybody out. It's just you think you have a grasp on these type of announcements, these type of conversations, these type of things, and then you just start going and you're like, oh, where's my mind? Where's my brain? What am I talking about? What am I saying? Who did I forget? But I'll have a formal, really from the heart message, and you don't have to tune it in for it. It's really a selfish thing on my own that I just want to make sure that I'm thanking everybody and getting a chance to put my heart out there to show my gratitude, show how grateful I am for this opportunity, because Player Profile is a beast. Roto Underworld isn't going anywhere. It's a sick fucking platform. It's awesome. And to be a part of this team has been amazing. Absolutely amazing. Aaron Stewart, he's no longer with Player Profile, but again, someone I was really grateful to have a chance to work with here. But yeah, the chapter in my content career is closing when it comes to Player Profile. But what does that mean? What does that mean? Well, you may have seen the announcement, so you may already know this, but for those of you who haven't, I will be doing content exclusively for South Harmon Fantasy Football starting August 1st. I've already started doing some stuff with those guys. Adam and Mike, they've built something very exciting with South Harmon, and they, gave me and Cody an opportunity to join them in a big way. And I am beyond excited for this next chapter. South Harmon is a fantastic, growing brand when it comes to fantasy gaming, when it comes to dynasty and all that good stuff. So, I'll be heading over to South Harmon to do all my fantasy football content. So yeah, you want to check that out, southharmonff.com, South Harmon FF on YouTube, South Harmon FF on Twitter. You can find all that stuff out, get introduced to the new brand if you like what I'm doing. I'm not saying leave Player Pro, obviously not. This is the great part of doing content, is the pie is big enough for all of us to be full. Is that we can all do things. So you can, obviously, I would highly recommend keep tuning into Mind of Mansion and Dynasty Roundtable and Dynasty Life and Press Coverage and The Dominator and Decision Point and all the great shows, the Dynasty Warzone, all these great shows at Play Profiler. I can't highly recommend checking them out. I'm sure you already have. I'm not breaking any news here. You're tuning into the game plan means you're rocking with Player Pro. But I also think if you like what I've been doing here, at Player Pro. If you fuck with Matty Kiwoom, head over to South Harmon Fantasy Football because it's going to be a great opportunity. And what we're cooking up over there is some big stuff. So yeah, find me at South Harmon exclusively starting August 1st. But what does that mean for the game plan? What does that mean for the game plan? Well, the game plan is going to be going through some changes, but it is coming with me to South Harmon. South Harmon, the game plan will be a South Harmon show. It will be a redraft-centric show. No longer Saturdays at noon. It'll be Sundays at 9 a.m. And you might be saying, I'm not getting up for you. Understood. I get it. But the reasoning for that is the game plan is going to kick off our NFL coverage of the day. It is going to be the first show you tap into to get ready to dominate your redraft leagues, dominate your matchups in Dynasty, what have you. But the game plan will roll into our starter sit show too over there at South Harmon. So the game plan's coming with me. Be a new look, new time, same vibe, same content, same good stuff. Matty Kiwoom will be there hosting. I'll have guests. It'll be great. Will be people from Player Pro. I'll absolutely have on the collab. Like I said, this is not a bad breakup. This is just closing the chapter and opening a new one. Closing, going down one path, thinking you'd be on that path forever, realizing, oh, wow, look at this path. This is a nice little path. Let me jump on that path. Whoa, what a good path it is. Everyone says it's a good path. Sorry, I'm working on a Trump impression. I don't know why, but I just want to be funny, I guess. I don't know what do you think. I'm Shane Gillis. Stop it, Kiwoom. Stop. All right, fine. So the announcements in a nutshell, as of August 1st, we'll no longer be doing content at Play Pro. It'll all be at South Harmon Fantasy Football. The game plan will be starting there next Sunday at 9 a.m. It will be a live stream. Come on in. If you got questions, it doesn't have to be redrafts because we still are in the offseason. But if you have any questions about what you're seeing in training camp or your drafts or the rookies or dynasty trades, head over there. South Harmon FF on YouTube, and you can see the game plan next Sunday at 9 a.m. But again, this is not just an announcement episode. I got some thoughts, got some things I want to talk about, but I do feel like we need a bit of a reset. So I'm going to go ahead and run the last ad here on Player Pro, and then we're going to get into today's topic, which is some of my redraft strategies, tactics that I'm going to use to just absolutely slap around my league mates.
Hey, it's the Podfather. I have great news. The draft kit is live. It is world famous. Why? Because it is the best resource for winning fantasy football championships that exists. There are rankings and cheat sheets for every format you can imagine. We have projections both at the team level and the player level. And wherever you are, you can click on a player, open them up, and see in-depth written analysis about what to expect in fantasy football from that player this year. And then you can click on the team and you can get even more in-depth analysis, all the drivers of fantasy production, both in a positive and negative direction for that team, including a signature trend. And the graphics are incredible. So these team insights, they give you the team level projections, the vacated targets, the vacated ARs. And we added a bunch of features. I mean, individual cheat sheets for Theo and Billy and Dario. So you could take your favorite analyst and download their personal draft cheat sheet. And then in the commissioners section, Memphis Young lays out everything you need to know to manage a league. The best minds in the industry contributing analysis. It's certainly not the most inexpensive draft kit on the market, but it is the best. PlayerProfiler.com/draft kit. PlayerProfiler.com/draft kit. Go get it.
A lot of really, really great guys worked on the draft kit. So make sure you check that out. I contributed to it, and it was, I'm proud to be a member of the draft kit or a contributing member of the draft kit. So go ahead and check that out. PlayerProfile.com/draft kit. Get it today. All right. Today's topic, fantasy football related. I want to talk redraft. I want to talk strategies, big picture stuff, small picture stuff. I want to get everyone that's game planning, pun very much intended, a little bit of prep as we get into the leagues. Of course, ADP data hasn't necessarily crystallized just yet, but I'll be going off of what Sleeper has right now. So I'm going to be going off some Sleeper patterns and this and that, and we're going to go through just a number of strategies and tactics that I will be using when when the redraft streets fully open up, and we are just going crazy with those redrafts. But the first thing I'll say, number one tip for me is either go with the hero running back or the zero running back. Make sure that tactic rhymes. Don't go robust RB. The robust RB builds, as of right now, including ones that have Christian McCaffrey on the roster, lack punch from wide receivers, and you need them. I've always called this, if you've been rocking with me here in the game plan, I call it my dragons. I need to have some dragons. I need destroyers. I need guys that can level the matchup. And that typically comes consistently from receivers. So I am always looking to pile up on some receivers. But I'm not opposed to the hero RB build, because within the first 2 rounds, you can have a chance to select a player that can anchor the running back stable. Players like Saquon Barkley going in round 2. Gibbs is going at the 1-2 turn. And then Derrick Henry, Travis Etienne is going at the 2-3 turn. And that I didn't mention Taylor, Hall, Bijan, or CMC. Those guys are kind of sprinkled in to the first round. Maybe Taylor will be in the second. So if you're outside of reach, you miss out on Tyreek, Justin Jefferson, Lamb, Amon-Ra, Jamar Chase. And you don't want to go with the AJ Brown or Garrett Wilson in round 1. I like both of those players. I mean, when you look at AJ Brown's season last year, it was very good, and we're trying to predict 2024. I think we can rely on 23's trends to help us paint the picture of 24 when it comes to AJ Brown, and then Garrett Wilson getting Aaron Rodgers back. So I'm okay taking them in round 1, but if you want to go ahead and get that Bijan on your team, get Breece Hall, it's okay. You can still have a very strong build with going, running back early. So I'm okay with the hero, but the double tap, I am not for the double tap. The double tap leaves you too weak at receiver. It kind of creates this vacuum where you're chasing the quarterback, tight end positions. And when I talk redraft, I'm predominantly talking 1 QB, very casual stuff, all the cash leagues, your office leagues, your work leagues, stuff like that. Of course, Superflex changes the dynamic in terms of where you're drafting quarterback. You're taking quarterback in round 1, but I'm talking 1 QB type leagues. But if you go, it doesn't matter where you're drafting in round 1. If you are willing to go receiver, I don't think, you will not be disappointed in the builds that come from that. Now, me personally, if you're in a Kentucky Derby style league or you have any type of influence on where you can draft, I am trying to get myself in the top 8. I want either Amon-Ra, Chase, Jefferson, Lamb, or Hill. I am very adamant about drafting those in the mocks that I've done, and the teams that come from that aggression I like a lot. So if you want to go hero, I'm okay with hero RB, but for your zero RB type guys, you could push it to round 6 if you want to be safe. Round 7 if you like to live on a wild, if you like to take a walk on the wild side. I said, hey baby, come take a walk on the wild side. And the fantasy gamers say, do. I don't know what happened there. I think I blacked out. What's going on? Is this the gameplay? This is the gameplay. But it's guys like Zamir White are coming off the board in round 7. Najee Harris, a personal favorite of mine. In terms of my zero RB builds, give me all the Najee this year that I can stomach. Jonathan Brooks is also there, going there in round 7. Round 6, guys, again, if you want to just be a little bit more conservative, you don't want to risk it. Ramondre, DeAndre Swift, Aaron Jones, David Montgomery are the names you'll likely see in that range. And that's where I'm starting my running backs. Because if you go receiver, you could sprinkle in a little tight end early. But that's what I'm preaching this year. Mainly zero RB, but anchor RB if that's how the draft falls you. Because first and foremost, my number one strategy, my meta golden rule, is the Bruce Lee rule. It's be like water. Be flexible. Let the draft come to you. Don't necessarily attack it at all points. I do believe attacking the draft is smart when crafting a good lineup. But when you want to accrue value in your redraft leagues, you do have to let it kind of come to you. And speaking of that, let's pivot to the tight end position, because this tight end landscape is almost like none other I've ever seen as a fantasy player. I mean, the amount, it's not even just where they go. There's not a first round tight end. I think in a lot of leagues, you won't see more than one go in the first 2 rounds. But from rounds 3 to 6, They go fast. They go furious. You might as well call Paul Walker. They're going fast and furious. They go crazy. Kelsey, Andrews, Kittle, Pitts, Ingram, Laporta, the youngins, oldies, all of them. They're all going off the board rounds 3 through 6. And for me, this is going to sound lame in as I say it, but as I walk you through it, it'll help you get a grasp of what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking about it. Let the tight end position pick you. Don't pick the tight end. Let the tight end pick you. Very wistful. Look at my eyes. I mean business. Very wise. Whoa, everyone says I'm so wise. That's not bad. It's not bad. Anyway, let the tight end position pick you. Don't get aggressive. If you love Kelsey, don't take him in round 1. Gamble to see that he'll be there in round 2. Because if he's not, guess who will be? Laporta. Oh, man, we had a little bit of run. Guess who's there? McBride in round 4. Andrews in round 4. Evan Ingram as a last-ditch effort in round 6. Love Evan Ingram this year. George Kittle, round 5. Even Kyle Pitts at the end of round 5 or round 6. Dalton Kincaid, going around at the 4-5 turn. All those guys are going to be good for your position. In years past, it's wait on tight end. That's been my strategy. Just wait. I'm not waiting. I'm taking a tight end within rounds 3 through 6. Which one? I'll let them decide. I'll let the tight ends decide who falls to me in those rounds where I feel like this is going according to plan. Jalen Waddle's there in round 3. I don't know. I'm taking Jalen Waddle over tight end. I'll see who's there in round 4. Oh, I don't know. Should I take Malik Neighbors? Yes, take Malik Neighbors and then wait for that tight end to fall. The run on tight ends hasn't been fast and furious in a singular round, but over that span of 3 rounds, you'll see him go quite quickly. That's why I'm saying let it come to you. If you got the 103, let's say, and you go Lamb, and on the way back, all of a sudden, Marvin Harrison fell to you. Chris Olave's there at the end of round 2, and you go, you know what? I need to go double run receivers here. I want to take them, but I kind of like Kelsey. But it's like, you know what? Let's see what happens. All of a sudden, wraps around the 303. Kelsey could be there for you. And if he's there in round 3, you've now accrued that value, that oh shit factor when building your redraft roster that you just don't typically get when you get aggressive at tight end this year. And then you know what? If he goes to the 302, you just clean up the hands and wait till round 4. And then all of a sudden, there's Andrews. Okay. Happy as a clam. Or all of a sudden, I don't think I want to go Andrews here. I wasn't expecting DJ Moore to be here. I wasn't expecting Mike Evans to be here. I'm going to triple tap receiver here. I'm going to put the 3 dragons out. I'm going to go straight Targaryen and give him dragons. Fine. Wait another round. Because, there's McBride. There's Kittle. There's Pitts. There's Kincaid. There's a lot that's going on at tight end. And I don't think that this is the year to put all your eggs in one basket. I don't think this is the year to die on a hill for one of these top guys. I think that when you let it kind of crash over you, let them pick you. Sometimes you go to the adoption agency for puppies or kitties or whatever animal pet you're trying to pick up. And you go there and you're telling somebody, your significant other, your family, whoever you're going with, you're like, hey, I really want this kind of dog. I really want this kind of cat. I really want this, and I won't take anything other. And then you get there, and they let the animals come out and get to know you and introduce, and you fall in love. You fall in love with that poodle. You wouldn't want a poodle. I don't want a poodle. Who wants a poodle? Well, this poodle loves you, and it's picked you. And you're okay with it because you kind of fall in love with it quick. And that's what I'm talking about for tight end this year, is let them pick you. Don't get too crazy in redraft. Another thing I will say, and this is this is kind of a quirky tip, if you will, but I think it's an important one, is don't be afraid to paint in colors. And what I mean by painting in colors is when you look at your draft board, sleeper especially because you have the colors, or if your draft board's in person, however you do it, these positions have colors. Don't need to mix and match the colors. If you want to go 4 receivers in a row, do it. And then you can go 5 running backs in a row. Don't be afraid to paint in colors, in bunches. Let these color runs happen. Because early on, I'm loving a lot of these receivers. George Pickens, I like this year. He's going in the 5th round. T. Higgins is going in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. And guess what, folks? He's there with Joe Burrow. The uncertainty of his future doesn't matter when we're talking redraft. He shouldn't be going in round 6 when he has that type of talent. Then you get guys like Christian Kirk, Deontay Johnson going in round 7 and 8. There's a lot of receivers you can pick early. And then, my next tip. I tell you, in past, we've talked a lot about the RB dead zone. There's an RB dead zone every year, but there's an RB thrive zone. Is that a good one? Is that good? I'm going to call it the RB thrive zone because that's the word that came out. But there's a chunk from rounds, call it 9 to 15, where you could just go boom, 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 boom. And you may not have super high-end projected week 1 starters, so that might get you down, but don't get it down because there's the Zeke Elliott. That'll be a great week 1 start. You can get Jerome Ford, who I think is going to have value right out the gate. Javonte Williams is going to be there in Denver, and he's going to be the week 1 starter. I don't understand where the scariness is coming from. Brian Robinson, who I'm growing very fond of as training camp unravels. We saw Eckler maybe hit a little bit of a pit, maybe turn in the dust a bit. And Brian Robinson, you're hearing about him playing out wide and really thriving in this high-paced Washington offense. So you could get him as your week 1 starter to go along with that anchor RB, that Najee Harris that you took, that Zamir White that you took in round 7, whatever strategy you go with. But then after that, you just backload with the Kendre Millers and the Ty Chandlers and the Zach Charbonnets and the Jalen Wrights and the Chase Browns and the Rico Dowdles and, of course, the Antonio Gibsons. You just throw all those guys in your team because we know when the bullets are flying and you're in the trenches of fantasy football, man, you're going to be looking for these running backs in bunches. And now you could take them and just absolutely throw them on your bench, not worry about them. You've built your starting lineup through receivers. You got your tight end. So now the running backs will kind of just matriculate and they'll kind of reveal themselves as the season goes on. I mean, it happens every single year where a player just emerges, whether it be for a couple weeks, for the playoffs, like a Ty Chandler, or if he come completely out of nowhere, like a Devin Singletary last year. These guys are the league-winning players because you can build strong nucleuses with wide receiver, these week in and week out massive producers, and then just play the running back hot potato game. And if you go hero RB, this is even better because you have your pillar now. Your Travis Etienne, your Josh Jacobs, your Rashad White. You have your weekly starter. And let me just churn these other guys like butter. You know what I'm saying? Let me just churn them through, and I will figure it out. And then when push comes to shove, you can make trades, all that stuff, and you have to turn into the game plan over at South Harmon FF to get that information in season. But in terms of draft prep, that's what I'm doing at running back. And I want to talk quickly about quarterbacks. Quarterbacks this year are interesting because even the good ones are coming with some value. They're expensive. You have to use a round 3 pick, a round 4 pick, but you're getting the good ones there. You're not having to take a Josh Allen at the 1-2 turn. You're not having to take Pat Mahomes in the fat part of round 2. No, you're getting Mahomes in round 4. You're getting Josh Allen at the 2-3 turn. You're getting Jalen Hurts midway through the 3rd, maybe even the 4th. Lamar Jackson's a 4th round pick. But there's a spacing right now. Now this could change before we get into the true redraft season, but there's a group of quarterbacks that I have been attacking like crazy, and they're coming off the board rounds 8 and round 9. That's Brock Purdy, Kyler Murray, Jordan Love, Jaden Daniels, and you can even expand that into Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Caleb Williams. These are the quarterbacks coming off the boards rounds 8 through 11. And so what I've typically done is attacked receiver early, made sure I got my tight end in those first 6 rounds. Then I take my number 1 running back, my quarterback, and then I just draft a shitload of running backs. I think that for me gives me the teams that I'm most excited about. You can have your Amon-Ra with the Waddle, with DK, with Amari Cooper, And then also you look at running back and have Trey Benson and Zeke Elliott and Ray Davis and Kamani Vidal and Brian Robinson or Jalen Wright. There's a great combination of running backs there in those rounds. So for quarterback, for me, I'm not vehemently opposed to taking an early quarterback because you're getting some value. I think Theo actually tweeted something about that, and I couldn't agree with him more, that there's some meat on those bones. There's some value on those quarterback picks, even though you're having to take them early. But if you want to orchestrate the perfect draft as the way Kiwoom sees it, speaking the third person, to Trump impersonate, speaking the third person, who am I becoming? I just got a haircut today, so I guess your boy feeling good. Anywho, that's the pattern. Receiver, tight end, first 3-6 rounds, get my running back 1, get my quarterback, and then boom, bam, bang. Just take a shitload of running backs. And you could build a nice roster here, a well-rounded roster, and then you'll have some turnover. And then if you have a little bit of luck, maybe 3 of those running backs that you took form into starters for fantasy, and then you can use those things as some fun coupons. Sure up your quarterback. Take the let's call it Kyler Murray investment in round 8. Take a Jerome Ford, who's now looking like the weekly starter, but he's really your running back 4 because you've gotten some good luck in that department. And then take Kyler and boom, give me Josh Allen. Let me tear up at the quarterback position. Let me take my George Kittle and tear up to Travis Kelce. This is what we're talking about, because in redraft during the season, we love our receivers. You need receivers to win. We love quarterbacks. You want to stand out, especially in your casual leagues, your office leagues, your family leagues. You want those one-off positions to be strong. But running backs are as good as gold. So you want to make sure you have a bunch of them with hope. So you need some hope here that some of them hit in a big way, and then you can either use them, trade them, keep building that formidable, that sharpen that iron, and become a redraft destroyer in 2024. That's it. Those are my tips for redraft, and that's it. Here at Player Profiler for the game plan, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for rocking with me, for tuning in. It's you guys that make this all possible. This is the reason why I do this, is for the love of fantasy football and being in the streets with you guys and talking to planners and being here each and every week. So I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Player Profiler, for giving me this opportunity. Matt Kelly for being, the Fearless leader, the guy that built this whole thing, giving me a chance. You're the man. Like I said, I named a bunch of people in the beginning of the show, and there's so much more to thank, and I will, because it means a lot to me, and I want to thank you. But I also got to give a big shout out to my guys at South Harmon, Mike, Adam, Cody, Koopa, Fizz, Eric, and so much more, because that community is great. And if you are a part of that community, I highly recommend it because it's a lot of fun. Don't leave Player Pro. Player Profile is fantastic. You can do both. You can do both here in the fantasy space, which is great. It's absolutely great. But come follow me over to South Harmon. I got good things cooking. It's going to be fantastic. But here for the last episode on Player Profile for the game plan, I'm Matty Kiwoom. Thank you so much for everything you've done, everything you've tuned into, all the interactions, all of it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I will see you next week, but at South Harmon FF on YouTube. Peace.
Hey, I want to thank you for being part of this broadcast. If you have any thoughts on it, leave a comment. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more shows on the Player Profiler channel, subscribe to it. That's how we know you want more.